Hey, everybody, you're going to want to listen all the way through this episode because we are talking what might be the summer song, and it definitely comes from Mariah Carey. It's so good. So we'll talk about that.
You're also going to find out what went down really behind the scenes of the Golden Girls, and maybe like myself, it'll be a little hard pill to swallow, but we'll get you through it. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Well, look at us all back again.
What a long
And I
week.
mean, when I say all back again, I mean like as in a feeling, since it's
Yeah,
just two of us, both back again. Do we address the Adam element?
you haven't mentioned in a while that he's still MIA.
Except I see him every day.
Yeah, that's true.
uh, our little Adam got a great big job, which no one is surprised that he got. In fact, I recall forecasting this position in an overall picture to take over the world, and it
Yep,
seems that he's on track to doing that. So good
yep,
for him. And what that means for our 90s Now family is we'll miss him.
yep,
Ultimately,
yep,
should he fall from grace and decide to grace us with his presence, then that
yep,
would be great. But until
yep.
then, we wish him all the best and know that he is a fan and a friend more than anything. So good for
hmm
him.
Um, I have to right off the top let you know that because I was listening to the show in the car the other day from last week's episode, and
Yes.
I did in fact hear you wrong at one point, and so you were correct in your assumption that I said my ear instead of my eye or whatever I was supposed to say. So I did want
Yeah.
to issue a public apology. Um, yeah,
Well, thank you.
yeah,
I I never doubted I was wrong.
yeah. Well, I don't know what I meant, but anyways, I did want to clarify that. So and we
Well,
also
thank
got
you.
a message on our social media. Well, actually, sorry, on our YouTube channel,
Hmm.
from someone who, because we had talked extensively about the Janet Jackson American Music Awards a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and someone brought it to our attention that we didn't address during our extensive analysis of said performance from Miss Jackson, that her and her band implemented, like I don't know if I think it was like a 4 bar count, maybe it was an 8 bar, it wasn't more than that, of when they were transitioning from song to song from Mariah Carey's "Shake It Off."
Oh, no, we didn't address that.
Yeah, did you hear it in the mix?
I probably did, but since I also kind of didn't remember you, questioning whether or not I was right about you saying something 1 week ago,
Yeah.
something from 2 or 3 weeks ago is really might not have ever happened in my mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's funny because I actually think that during the initial performance, I missed the sample because I obviously you're watching it on TV and it was live, and I was just like, I hadn't seen Janet perform on an award show in such a long time that I was just super into it. So I missed it the first time around. But when I did watch it back, I did hear the little shake it off shimmy. Uh,
Nice.
and then I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. And I actually quickly Googled it because I'm like, I can't obviously be the only one that's heard this sample. And sure enough, it was like a Reddit thread. It was like, and she sampled Mariah. It was so cool and whatever. So I love that she did that. And I'm now waiting for the Janet Mariah collab.
Well, what's really cool about Janet Jackson, and not that you need any other reasons to love her, but I would say that she would never let any opportunity go, and certainly never let any bit of space um, run without like proper risk management
Hmm.
for full effect outcome.
Hmm. Yeah, because
So
she's
of
done.
course she did that.
Yeah, and like, but I think this is, I mean, and maybe there's some fans because I know we're very fortunate. We have a lot of the Janet fans that watch the show, and listen to the show. I don't know if Janet's ever sampled a Mariah before, but she's sampled like other things. When she's on tour, she often puts in little things, and her band is so smart at that. Like I know when they were in Atlanta, I can't remember the song that they did, but they chose an artist from there, and they put a little groove shimmy when they were transitioning into songs. I think they've even done Cardi B's Bodak Yellow at one point.
Hmm.
So I love that her band and her find little ways to shake things up from the original and to pay homage depending on where they are and stuff like that. I think it's really cool.
She finds little ways to do big things.
Yes, exactly. That should be her new single. Yeah.
Little
So
waves,
anyways,
big things in brackets.
yeah. And I know you're going to tell us what's on the show, and so that's good. I cannot wait for us to talk about Mariah Carey.
Oh yeah, baby. I thought I had selected the song of the summer already, but I might have to change my mind.
Yeah.
So we will talk about that. My Our third co-host for tonight, obviously missing Adam too, is Shadow. If you're watching, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Uh, he's a little unsettled. There is a storm coming our way, and I think he might be sensing that.
Okay.
Um, but for now, what I can tell you for this show, we're going to tell you how Susan could have been Monica. And if you know what I'm talking about just by saying that, then you watch enough TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got actually a bit of TV news for the show today, and we'll tie in some music to that as well.
Hmm.
Kelly's trivia is going to test your will to succeed.
Not your will to survive.
Well, hopefully you'll survive it
Yeah.
and succeed at the same time. And your 90s rewind is going to make it all feel better with a handful of songs from 1994, which selfishly for me was the year that I started in radio. I graduated from radio broadcasting, the program at a college, and got a job the day after graduation. So for me, these songs, or at least a few of them, were featured on a cassette that I had that I listened to my Walkman on my way to my overnight shift.
That's amazing. Actually, I don't think have you ever done pop radio?
Yes, I did. I voice tracked AM radio
Okay.
when CKGM was still a thing. It was hits.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm sure most of our audience knows who the heck you are, but if they don't, Sharon is the Queen of Rock here in Montreal. So,
Well, thanks, Kelly. Thank you for
yeah,
reading that and word for word. I appreciate it.
yeah. Don't
As I
you
sent it
have
to you,
a Montreal Canadiens jersey that says that, do you not?
I do. I was
Yeah,
gifted that.
yeah.
I was gifted it on two separate occasions, actually, because the first occasion was to mark my 25-year. Was that it? Yeah, it was. No, it was my 40th birthday. And so it was number 40 and it said Queen of Rock in the back. And then I left it in the back seat of my car after wearing it to an event. And I obviously forgot to lock my car door. And the next day it was stolen out of my driveway.
Oh my God.
Thanks, criminals.
Yeah.
So that happened. Not a fan of that. But then the same friends that got me that for my 40th birthday got me another one for my 25th anniversary at Shome just a few years ago. So I do have a new one that
Very
I never
nice.
leave in the car
Yeah, no.
ever.
Good plan.
Yeah. So, talking about the Golden Girls today, too. Talk about a show that has a lasting impact, a legacy, in fact, that 85 to 92, was it?
Yes, ma'am. Hmm.
Yeah. So funny that it could have gone on longer. And funny that while they still enjoy their popularity all these years later, we can confirm some of the stuff you may have heard over the years, like the inner feud within the castmates.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I think at least for one of the members of the feud, it was surprising. And of course, if you say that, you think you're surprised by Betty White scrapping it up with anybody. And that's because I'm not sure that she was full, like based on what we read, I'm not sure that she was fully engaged in the chirping
Yeah.
element.
I don't think so
However,
either.
the person that chirped her quite a bit, and if you take another word that starts with C, that was the word that was used in reference to Betty White, which is shocking, but used by B. Arthur,
Yeah.
who I'm not surprised by this because she's kind of got that, she had that edge to her,
Hmm.
which was part of what her character demonstrated. And I think any character that she ever did that we've seen, she had that confidence, that don't mess with me spirit about her,
Hmm.
which is cool in a an older and more senior woman. It's nice to see that kind of confidence. But when it's in reference to this treasure of an actress that is Betty White, is like, what did you do? And not to imply that B. Arthur's contributions to the the world of art is any less or more or anything. Just that you never. I don't think you ever want your idols or your favorites to fight like that. And it seems that there was quite a bit of dissension within that relationship.
Yeah. And I give it was actually hard for me to read that today, to be honest, and get it confirmed, because like this was an event that was happening in Los Angeles, and they had show writers together and people that were on the show, people that were involved with the show when it started in '85, and so they would know, right? They would know what
Hmm.
went down, and so they were able to confirm that like relationship was not what one would hope it would have been. And it's funny because over the years, Betty White did a very good job of because like B. Arthur has been, has passed away for years now at this point.
Hmm.
It's probably well over a decade at this point. It might even be 15 years. I don't know at this point. But I thought Betty was very gracious and always kind of like, for lack of a better word, keeping the secret, like
Hmm.
not she alluded a bit here and there when asked, but nothing fully. And I remember once something like an interview, something where she said to the effect, and I'm paraphrasing now, but the gist I got was that Bean never warmed up to her. Like that's
Yeah.
the sense that I got. And I do know it takes two to tango, but it does really feel like it was kind of, now that we know what we know, it feels kind of like it was one-sided. That it was B. Arthur was impatient with Betty White as a human and her character and her personality. That's what I take from that. So,
And part of it was that they each came from the artistic world, but B. Arthur had more of a theater background,
mhm,
where Betty White's experience was primarily on television. So she knew how to work the room in a different way than B. Arthur's approach was.
yeah,
But I don't know, sometimes you got to let that go. And I think that was what one of the writers eventually said to her. Like, it seemed in reading that article, one of my takeaways was that she was, she didn't hesitate to name call B.
mhm,
Arthur toward Betty White behind her back,
mhm,
but it was almost like she was looking for validation in that, like, am I right kind of thing, which is sort of immature and kind of
yeah,
like, get over it, like you're working together. And the idea that it was bad enough that, when it got to the end of the contract and the 7 year point, and they were approached to sign and continue, and everyone said yes, but B. Arthur, who said, F no.
yeah,
So that inability to get over something, and maybe it was something substantial that we don't know that she just kept the secret of, but it, festered enough to affect everything. But there could have been many more years of what was a really great show. Like, they tackled so many subjects that
mhm,
were way ahead of their time, similar to what B. Arthur had done in Maud.
mhm,
So, and maybe longer than 7 years, who knows how much longer you should go, but
mhm,
I think obviously they could have gone, I would have bet at least another three to call it an even 10. Who doesn't love a nice round number like
yeah,
that? But
yeah,
B. Arthur wasn't having it.
no. And then they did that Golden Palace, right, which only lasted a season, I think. So, because
Right.
the three of them did try to carry on, and it's too bad it didn't work. I almost wish they had just left it as Golden Girls, and then Dorothy had gone off, and then they just,
Or died. Because at a
yeah,
certain point in your senior life, that's going to happen, right?
yeah, yeah,
Or senior life or any life. You can't, nothing's guaranteed. But I mean, it wouldn't have been so shocking if
yeah,
one of the senior women had passed away.
yeah. Yeah, just but yeah, it's funny because like since the confirmation reading this today, knowing that it's coming from people that were a part of that show, it
Yeah,
was like sad for me because like you you hope that all casts are like friends, that
totally.
they just, and I just use that as an example. I'm sure there's many other casts that get along. I think the Modern Family people get along. I think Parks and Rec are still on a team chat together. Like there's
Yeah.
many casts that do love and adore each other. Um, but yeah, I think B. Arthur was curmudgeonly in real life, and I think Betty White's effervescence didn't sit well all the time.
And funny that also in the article that we read, the that she wasn't first choice for that show,
Hmm.
that because of her, likely because of her bristly nature,
Hmm.
that they were trying other people. But Susan Harris, right? She was the one
Yeah.
that wrote it and created the show, and she wanted her, so she wasn't budging on anybody. So one of the actresses they talked about coming into audition was Elaine Stritch,
Mm.
who you can totally see would have been
Yep.
a good replacement or a substitute or alternative is probably a better word for
Hmm.
B. Arthur because they kind of have the same look. They kind of have that same acerbic, direct punch kind of thing.
Hmm.
But apparently, according to one of the writers who chimed in that panel discussion, the nickname for her on another show was Elaine, something that rhymes with Stritch.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, because at that point, their panel, they were talking about how they felt bad for her because she wasn't going to win this audition at all. Like there
Hmm.
was no way because of how hard certain people wanted B. Arthur, but it was the reminder that her nickname was what it was sort of like she was okay.
Yeah.
Don't feel too bad for her. This was her nickname kind of thing.
Yeah. But I do give the both of them credit because like watching that show as you can today because it's still timely, they do
Hmm.
look like one big happy family. So like, B and Betty were able to make it work along with, Rue and Estelle. So
Well, I think it would be interesting to go back and watch it harder, knowing what
yeah,
we know,
yeah,
because there are scenes where you see B. Arthur breaking because of something that Betty White is doing.
yeah,
And so ultimately what wins is the commitment to the craft and
yeah,
doing the job well. So
yeah.
maybe that should be the thing that you think about now, Kel, as a super fan of the Golden Girls, that everything is fine.
Yeah, it's all fine. And Betty like because I watched some clip again because I told you it keeps showing up in my Instagram feeds and like she really because they often talk about like your commitment to the role. Like
Hmm.
Betty and I mean they all were, but I think the two that had to work the hardest maybe, not hardest, I think it came natural to them, but like where they had to give it is Rue McClanahan and Betty White, right? Because like Blanche had to be that tramp. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
really had to sell that Southern business. And Betty like had to sell St. Olaf and she
yeah,
did.
yeah.
So
Agreed.
she was awesome.
Agreed, Kelly. We've got more TV talk to get to, and we'll link some music to it, but maybe trivia? I
Fingers
mean,
crossed.
air quotes, fingers crossed that
Yeah.
you get something, Sharon. That's
Yeah.
what I hear in your fingers crossed, air quotes tone.
Bing bong.
Bing
Um,
bong.
pop culture or art and literature.
Art and literature, please.
So we're starting new cards, by the way. What color is this one? This one's a snappy red.
Mm,
And this is a fighting salmon. Yeah. So, art and
great.
literature. Who wrote The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Oh, Jacob Dylan. Just kidding. He was the lead singer of the
Yeah.
Wallflowers. I need initials. Do you have any?
SC.
Sue Crawford.
Nice. I've never heard of this last name in my life. I'm actually gonna
Ah.
I'm gonna spell it because so Stephen is the first name or
Hmm.
Stefan because it's Phen. I'm gonna go with Stephen.
Yeah,
Um,
you should.
Shabosky.
Well,
Chbosky. Would you say Shabosky? I'd say
I'd
Shabosky.
say it over and over again
Okay, great.
as a name I'm going to try to remember at least till the end of this show.
Nice. Stephen Shabosky. That's no Flally. What do we say? Sally Flannels? Sally Lannels? What was our lady with the
Oh yeah, wasn't it Flouncy?
flouncy?
Flouncy O'Donnell.
Oh,
Yeah,
huh.
the things that just come out of our mouths that we remember as something, and anybody listening now is going, "Why are they not talking about the Lamely in the new Mariah Carey
Yeah,
song?"
we're getting there.
We
Um,
will.
Pop culture. What flavor was the bang-in soft drink Surge?
What's your flavor? Tell me what's your flavor. I'm gonna guess lime.
I think we can say you get it because it was citrus. So that lime is part of citrus.
I was thinking of like, shocking green, that neon color
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
says, I'm
yeah.
awake. That
Yeah.
one.
So we'll give that one to you, Sharon.
Thanks a lot,
I'll throw
Kel.
you a little bone.
A
Yeah,
citrus bone.
a citrus bone.
Thank you. Thank you. So,
You're
do you want to
welcome.
talk about Mariah now or do you want to talk TV first?
What would you like
More
to do,
TV.
my? What would you like to
Well,
do? Peaches?
well, Herb, I think that I think that we could go at least one more TV drop just because
Yep,
we did
yep,
mention it off the top, and that is the how Susan could have been Monica.
yep. We're
comment,
not
and
talking
that
about
is,
Kathy and Susan.
oh, I did think about them though
Yep.
when I was reading about this. Now, no feuds at all with this show that went on for a very long time. We're talking about Friends, and that Susan, Jessica Hecht is the actress, and she was friends with one of the casting people or
Mm-hmm.
writers
Mm-hmm.
on Friends. She was on the East Coast, they were on the West. Oh, I've sent your picture in, and we'll see. They're calling you into audition for Monica. Jessica Hecht played Susan, as we remember, was Ross's ex-wife's girlfriend turned wife,
Lesbian lover.
lesbian lover. They shared a bed and a baby and the raising of the
Yep.
child.
Yep.
But it's one of those things when you look back on um, a TV shows, so near and dear as friends that like anybody being anybody else, you're like, what? I can't picture that at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I liked also that the confidence that Courtney Cox had when she left the audition. She knew she got it, or she knew it was going to be a success, and she bought a Porsche.
Nice.
And this was a woman who auditioning for the show, I think, was maybe thinking of her options as far as other careers went because she didn't have much going on at the time. But then she got that, and as we know, the game changed for all six of those friends moving
Mm-hmm.
forward in that
Yeah.
show. Okay, so let's get to Mariah. I think
Let's
we've
do
waited
it.
long enough. What I told
Mhm.
Kelly before we started the show was that I listened to the new Mariah
Type
like
dangerous.
three times just to make sure I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm booked for another three later and more tomorrow. It's really, really good.
It's
For
so
me,
good.
it highlights her songwriting strength, which is always way up here,
Mm-hmm.
but that laissez-faire groove that says summer 2025, I am here for it, and I cannot wait for everybody else to get on board, which they probably already are, let's face it.
Yeah, I think it was trending. I can't remember what chart it was on, but I think it's already like it's already trending like number one or something. Like and sorry, and she's already I forget what number this is, but because she made it she debuted at number 95 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. This is her X amount of number like top 100 song, like
Oh, nice.
so and I really hope it gets into like I hope it gets to number one. And her Lamely is ridiculously determined, so I would not be surprised if it gets to number one. And I hope it does because it's funny, like I feel the same way I do about Crystal Waters as I do about this song, in the fact that I told you guys a couple weeks ago that
Hmm.
Crystal Waters' current new songs that have come out, You and Me and Big Bite, are like her 90's heyday with a 2025 spin.
Right.
And I think Mariah Carey, this song is like vintage Mariah, vintage 90's Mariah in
Yeah.
2025.
I agree with you because it's I think the perk of 2025 Mariah is all the confidence and the experience and the life affirming nature of what she's done for herself is you get to look back and go, yeah, I did that really well. Let's do it again. And for
Yeah.
2025,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it's just like the minute I heard it, and then yeah, I too like re-listened and re-watched a gajillion times, and then I watched the music video for it, and her and her team were super crafty about what they came up with that. Um, like just like all of her catchy like play on words and even like name checking her like hit songs that she writes. Like it's just, but it's so
Yeah.
like it's like humble brag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if anybody's qualified to do that,
Yeah.
it's Mariah.
Yeah, she's a beast. And I'm just like, I'm absolutely delighted for her. Like just delighted because I mean, she constantly, like puts out solid things, but it's been a minute since she's put out an album, and
Yep.
it's been a minute, I think, where it's been this. So, like it does feel like this is 2005 again or 1998 or you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
like this is good. This is big for Mariah. This is hot. I can't wait for the album.
It's big for Mariah. It's even bigger for us.
Yeah, I know.
Um, I love how, well, my first pick for the song of the summer was Apathy,
Yeah.
Bruno and Rose.
Rose. Hmm.
Um, Sidebar to that, I love how the co-writers of Mickey from the 80's
Hmm.
by Tony Basil, that they get writing credit on this song because of the very likeness of Apathy to Mickey.
Yeah.
So kind of cool that it ties the 80's and the now, just like we do with the 90's and the now.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Oh, you know what? When I was listening to Mariah, the next suggestion that Spotify made for me was Mark Ronson and Ray and
Oh.
the song called Suzanne.
Hmm.
So that's my suggestion for listening. If you haven't heard it yet, she's so good also.
She's so good. There's a few artists that are really good. Like she's really good. Dochi's really good.
Hmm.
Like smart choices. Yeah,
We've
like
got Dochi coming to Osheaga this
Osheaga.
year.
Are you gonna go to see her? Like, will you stay to see her?
It'll depend on the schedule and um, yeah, I don't love crowds like that.
Hmm.
Last year, I think I did 27,000 steps in that one day or 2 days. Like it's a lot of from stage to stage. It's an amazing event. It's an
Hmm.
amazing festival, but it was hot
Oh
last
yeah, we
year.
remember we were hanging out, you and I.
Yeah, and somebody passed out standing beside us.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
like we were in a nice area where you had bar service and whatever, and this person, it didn't look like they were hitting it too hard, but they hit the ground pretty hard when they
yep,
collapsed.
yep, yep,
They were fine, by the way. Nobody
yep,
they were fine. But
yep.
yeah, it's an
Remember the
unattractive sweat that you have and such exhaustion when the day is done
yeah.
that I'm not sure if I'm too old for it, but we'll see what happens.
We remember I kept buying like water, whatever, and it like melted in 6 seconds. Like it
Yeah,
was the ice was
we got some more ice.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Sure, hardcore partiers, you can
yeah.
have more ice.
Yeah. I can't imagine like because yeah, like I mean we weren't drinking apart from like water. But I can't imagine having like been on alcohol in that heat. I can't
No,
imagine it.
no, it's a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot, and it's dangerous too.
Yep.
Don't
Yep.
make me sound like your mother, okay? Everybody,
She is
make
nine
smart
years
choices.
older, in case you're wondering.
Nothing good happens after midnight, okay, you guys? We talked about that on my show, on my morning show with Jay, and we were concurring that nothing good happens after midnight when you're talking to younger people that you don't want to stay out too late. And he said, nothing happens or everything good. And you know what? At a certain point, he wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mother just wouldn't say that to you.
Yeah. No, no, no.
Okay, so from Mariah, we'll go to Pierce Brosnan because that's a normal segue. The success of Mobland on it's Paramount Plus, right?
Yeah.
Totally growing in popularity. What they did was you get, I think at the beginning it was one or two episodes a week, then
One.
it was one, and that's great because for people our age, we have a memory of how television worked, which is
Yeah.
that you had to wait until the next week until that episode came out. Whereas, and it's not even age specific, it's how we grew up. But now you have the option if they drop a whole show or a whole season, you can get her done in a couple of nights, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that all shows are supposed to be binged like that. They're supposed to have that breathing space so that when you
Hmm.
go back, I think the risk is that you can become more critical of how the production went or how the flow of the conversation went if
Hmm.
you jump ahead. But
Hmm.
that said, they've broken several streaming records. They keep on building on it because now the whole first season is available to watch. They had 8.8 million global viewers after the premiere. And as far as a possible season two, I would be shocked if there wasn't one, mostly because of how the first one ended. Not that
Hmm.
there's too many questions or anything, but it's left in a way that, of course, there would be another one or
Hmm.
could be another one.
Hmm.
And as far as Pierce Brosnan is concerned, he says, "Well, I think the whole world is waiting to see the second season, and I believe they will be going ahead with the second season. As far as I know, it hasn't been officially announced yet, but people would love to see it. I had the greatest time working with this great company of actors. Yeah, it's been a resounding success. Talk about a speech from the fence."
Yeah.
Because it doesn't tell you
Yeah.
anything about his place in the first season or how it progressed
Hmm.
or what's going to happen with his place in the second season, if there even is one.
Yeah.
So I think what we're doing here is our part to not wreck anything for anybody who hasn't watched the first season of
Yeah.
Mobland, which is totally worth it if you haven't.
Oh my God, it's so good. Like that's why I brought the story to us again here because I just we have to talk about it because it's such a great
Yeah.
show. I think I told you too, like I love Helen Mirren and she makes
Yeah.
me like annoyed in this show, like because her character
Yes.
is so like unrepentant.
Awful. She's
Awful.
awful.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like even if you had her in your life and she was on your side, you'd be like, I don't know
Yeah.
if I want that. But that's the moxie that you have to have as
Yeah.
the spouse or co-head of an Irish mob
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. And even like Pierce, who I love also, like he's cringy in this.
He's
Like
awful too. I don't like
yeah.
him at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
And he's
it's perfectly cast and perfectly
yeah.
executed, like really well done.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Downton Abbey, so I love Joanne Froggatt, and
Yeah.
I love her in the role that she gets to play. It's just such a great and Tom Hardy is like ridiculously cool. Like he's
I
just
have
the
one
coolest.
issue with the Joan Froggatt character, which is
Yeah,
that I'm not sure why it doesn't seem that she completely understands where she is in her life.
right.
Like she seems a bit, what's going on here? Like she knows who she's married to and she knows who he works for
Yeah,
because she's the one that's married to the Tom Hardy character, who's Harry, who is the fixer for the mob family. So
yeah,
going in, I mean, we knew going in what he did.
yeah,
She knows, even the daughter knows.
yeah,
But for some reason, she's like, "What's happening? Like,
yeah.
what?" So that bugged me a bit, but I mean, that's can't all be perfect, right?
No, no, no. But yeah, watch it, Paramount Plus, and you do have the opportunity now to binge it if you want because all the episodes are up. So.
Yeah,
But
worth
I
it
did I
too.
did have to wait just like you did, Sharon, every week. And I was like, it was a highlight. It was like, okay, Sunday night, let's go. Like that was my treat after my, because Saturday, Sunday are my shows on Virgin. And so Sunday night in a way, even though I work Monday anyways, is kind of my Friday night.
Yeah.
So
Oh, totally.
it was a good Sunday night view. It was just such a great show, such a good cast. So do it up.
Agreed. Something else to look forward to and tying in television and music is the docu-series that features Ashanti and Nelly called We Belong Together. It's on Peacock. I don't know anybody that has Peacock. Do you?
I do not. People who want to watch Days of Our Lives have it.
Well, I don't blame them then. I
Yeah.
just I just don't know anybody, but
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. And that's where you're going to find this docu-series on a look into their journey of parenthood, balancing work and personal lives, and more.
And their new baby.
And the
Yep.
new baby, that would fall under the more category. The
Yep.
idea that it's been described um, as a wee bit dramatic.
Yep.
The idea also that they broke up at some point and nobody thought they were going to get back together, but here they are living the dream.
It's like their soap
And a
opera.
docu-series. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, what was it? They were on and off for 11 years, and then they got it rekindled for 2023, and they got married that year.
Yeah. And baby was born last year, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I'm reading that too at the same time as I'm reading that they
Yeah.
both have once hated each other.
There's the
So
drama.
hopefully it's all love and all good things,
I
but
think
that
so.
never that doesn't sell a docuseries. So
Yeah.
maybe there'll be an argument here or there. Now, are you ready for your 90s rewind?
I am. What year, Sharon?
We're going back to 1994. Now, this was the year that I graduated from school and got a job in radio. And have I looked back? Well, of course I have. It's radio because you're always on the edge.
Yeah.
On the roller coaster ride of where do I work now?
Yeah.
I just have this great memory of my overnight show when I first started on the air and taking the bus to and from,
Hmm.
which got annoying quick. And then I bought a car.
Yeah.
Um, but when I listened to my Walkman and was taking the bus, a song like Tevin Campbell's I'm Ready
Yeah.
was on at least one of the cassettes. And at the time, he was 18 years old.
Cutie.
Crazy. How about we talk about, or we have been talking about En Vogue for a while now,
Mm,
but the fact that they had teamed up with Salt and Peppa on What a Man.
what a man.
What a mighty good man. Um, Also, the idea that we've been hearing Loser from Beck
Mm.
for over 30 years now, it was new back around this time in 1994. Back and Forth from Aaliyah.
Oh,
She had it, eh?
so good.
And that was on my cassette also, by the way. Regulate with Warren G and Nate Dogg.
Hmm.
Madonna's I'll Remember.
Yep.
I Swear from All for One, who were at number one around this time in 1994. But I'll throw another one at you just, to prove that the songwriting power of one Richard Marx had him in prep mode for wedding season with
Nice.
Now and Forever.
Yeah.
My friends Linda and Roger got married in May of 1994, and I'm pretty sure that was their song.
Sounds right.
Now and forever, I will be your man. I love Richard Marx. He was so cute. I had a guy when I went to in a math class that I sat behind, and he looked like Richard Marx.
Oh, he had the mullet.
He had the mullet.
Yeah.
And do you know it's Serban Gane, who has won Grammy Awards for his work with Name It. I think, did you not interview him?
I don't know.
Serban. Hang on a second. Serban.
That doesn't ring a bell for me interview wise.
Hang on. There it is. Canadian record producer. He has worked with, so yeah, there he went to John Abbott College, which is he doesn't. It's not detailed that we were in the same math class, but we were. But he has worked with, small names like Taylor Swift, Adele, The Weeknd, Gaga, Demi Lovato, Sabrina Carpenter, Bruno Mars, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, just a few. Ariana Grande,
Mm,
you know, Michael Jackson, Blackstreet. You've
yeah.
heard of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from my math class to the Grammy world,
Rock star.
Serban. Yeah. Anyways, that wraps up a little flashback into 1994.
Great year. I graduated from high school. I did.
I started my professional career and you graduated high school.
Yeah. Ah, that year. Yeah. It's
Ah,
my
yes.
my two nieces have just graduated. Uh and so one of them just finished exams. I think the other one has also finished their exams. And so I called one of them up and I was like, "You're done, lady." She's like, "I know, I can't believe 5 years have gone." And I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, "And now reality's gonna hit like this."
Yeah, it's
So,
true. The
yeah.
reason why we were talking about nothing good happening after midnight was we were looking for advice. If you had advice to give, because it is grad season and prom
Yeah.
season, that what advice did you receive that lasted, and
Yeah.
what would you give now? So that was a pretty hot topic. But yeah, nothing good happens after midnight is the advice.
Yeah,
Go home.
that's a good one. I think also I tried to impart on my niece, and I know it's hard when you're grade 11 or Sec 5, whatever they call it here. It's like you're just on this march to wanting to get out and into CJEP college, but
Hmm.
like it's never the same after you leave high school. So I'm like, you need to really try to enjoy every minute of that grade 11 year because that's it. And then it's never going to be the same. So, not that it's
Yep,
going
it's
to
true.
like, it might be better for you. Like maybe high school wasn't great, but
Hmm.
it's just never going to be the same. So, um,
Remember who you are then, so that you
mhm,
can note how things changed for you.
yeah, yeah,
Well put, Cal.
it's something. Yeah.
You got that right.
By the way, if anybody needs a pep talk when you turn to a milestone year, have Sharon Hyland give you a pep talk in your 29th year, like she did for me. And
I'll do it.
yeah, it's good.
I'll do it. I'm good at it.
Yeah. She tells you how life is real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt. It's going to feel good.
No, no, it's good. All right, well, I'm done.
Hey, me too. You guys, thanks for finding us. We appreciate that and listening to us and bringing us with you on your walks and your road trips and stuff like that. We appreciate it. Wherever it is that you find us, keep on keeping on. And thank you for listening to 90s Now. Still happening.